My name is Jesse Britten. I work at Pegasus Gallery in St. Augustine, Florida, a tattoo shop and art gallery, as I'm a tattoo artist and a fine artist. I've been tattooing for 11 years. My relationship to art itself started when I was in high school with a teacher that I had that was really classically trained, teaching his high school students at a college level. And I was very successful in his class. Years went by and I just did my own thing and just painted occasionally and kept my skills going. And then a friend of mine found me in Minneapolis and invited me to come work for him. I've done all kinds of sculpture and oil painting and all that stuff, and there's nothing that I've ever even tried to do that was as hard as tattooing. It's the hardest art form that there is. I think there's a lot of crossover between fine art and tattooing. For me, the goal when I started tattooing was to be able to represent three-dimensional drawing and painting on the figure, on the body, and as tattooing. And since I've mostly been trained in fine art, I end up approaching it from more that way. I think the hardest thing in transitioning from painting and drawing to the skin is that it's almost more like sculpture or sewing, but it's not like that either. The same rules don't apply. It's about the damage and the trauma to the skin compared to the lightness or heaviness of a pencil on paper or the viscosity of oil paint on a canvas. There's just no comparison. So you have to just kind of start all over, learn from the ground up. It's really frustrating. It's psychologically really hard to transition. You think you're going to be a great tattoo artist and you go into it with all the gusto you can muster, but what it boils down to at the end of the day is you have to get over the fact that you're hurting somebody. There's a psychological barrier there because a piece of paper doesn't cry, a piece of paper doesn't squirm. Yeah, it's cool and everything, but it's like it'll make you kind of crazy for about 5 years. Still to this day, it's really hard. Coming from being so skilled in one area of my life, skilled in drawing, skilled in painting, and then sitting down and approaching the skin, it was a nightmare. You've got no way to relate this to drawing on paper or to working with canvas. But when you sit down with skin, every time it's different. I think I've spent the 11 years that I have been tattooing trying to learn how to tattoo in the way that I do art. I started tattooing in the fall of 2001. And have been going ever since with very little time off in between. So it's kind of, I'd say it's kind of a life passion at this point. I don't really take many breaks. As far as my art goes, I primarily like doing figure paintings. I like working with the body. I'm drawn to those things. I do probably 3 or 4 paintings a year. I sell some paintings out of here to friends. But right now, tattooing keeps me fed and is the most challenging thing I could do. Tattooing is my art. It takes up your whole life. This is what I do. I'm a tattoo artist.